Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks for Thursday, June 20th. Friendly reminder, the markets are closed on Wednesday. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, for you Bitcoin traders, I'll do a bonus analysis at the end. A few things. First off, if you would like to see a chart mapped out here like I'm about to do, then go ahead, leave that as a request down in the comment section. Second, the candlestick that you see right there will still be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol CMTL, and what a big mover today, and some very well-defined levels with the first key battleground to watch moving forward in terms of resistances right up here, and I'm sure you maybe already noticed it, at $4.25. I mean, you can just see numerous times rejected, 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 rejected. So while nothing is guaranteed, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that if the price can come up here and actually get a break of that level, that break in of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a plausible scenario. So keep a close eye on 425 moving forward. In terms of areas of support, I think the best way to go about this is just to get a trend line in a play there. So let me change that to green to represent support. So you have that as an area of a potential bounce. And then just from an overarching pattern standpoint, change it to one color to maybe make it easier to see. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosion right there for you golfers. Let me put the golf hole down here, make it a little bit more visual. So you could also call this a bull pennant pattern. But if you like these sorts of circumstances with the big volume, the nice patterns, you like stocks down below $5, keep an eye on it. Next one, RELI, and no doubt about it, this is a very ugly looking chart, but for you longtime viewers, you know I'm going to say next, there can be opportunity ugly. But I mean, you stop and think about the fact that at one point this thing was all the way up here, and now it's all the way down here. And I mean, to think that, I mean, there is true story. People bought right there. Hopefully those people were using stop losses, but big, nasty pullback. With all that being said though, from a technical standpoint, the chart is now getting near some very interesting levels, specifically that 50 period moving average right there, which even if you have a basic understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of that 50 period moving average, and you know that when the price is above it, it does tend to act as support. So while that doesn't guarantee anything, it is not irrational or crazy at all to think that, you know, maybe the price goes down to that level and gets some sort of bounce. And if it does, you could be looking at a very, very nice potential reward relative to what was being risked. Now that, of course, assumes that you're going to be disciplined on your stop loss and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, from a risk-reward scenario, you could really build a very attractive trade plan with these sorts of circumstances. So if you like these situations, you like penny stocks, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, LRHC. An interesting situation here as we have the big move up, and yeah, there is a pullback, but what I like about the pullback is it has at least finally started to go sideways, which makes it a valid question now to throw out there. Is this pullback over? Is this the bottom? You know, is this thing getting ready to break back to the upside? Now, maybe not. That's why stop losses matter and risk management matters. But to be fair, because that is a two-sided coin, I mean, maybe it is. This thing could very well be getting ready to turn back upwards. So from a resistance standpoint, key break point, at least in my opinion, that needs to be pushed up through right there at the $1.82 mark. And then in terms of areas of support, I would definitely consider a very important must-hold level. Both these moving averages down there, which you can see are basically on top of one another. Purple line has already discussed the 50-period moving average, and then that pink line, the 200-period moving average, both basically right at the $1.15 mark. And I'm not saying this will occur, but you know, in the event the price were to come down here and break down below there, that'd be a very bad situation, because at that point, the price would essentially have been gone right back to where it started. Or said another way, that would imply that the price made a great move and then went right back to where it was. Not exactly a sign of genuine power. Next one, MBIO. And this is a little tricky to talk about because it's all about perspective. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, or maybe you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 7 minutes, well then from that perspective, the chart looks really, really bad. Now from the big picture point of view, I get it. Yeah, the price has pulled back. But from that angle, in fact, even when I do that, and then I say, well, what was going on before today, right? Because assuming big picture, those people are going to care more about just simply what happened today. They're going to care about multiple days. And those people will be able to say, well, yeah, today, sure, the price pulled back. But before today, not that long ago, the price was down there, and now it's all the way up here. And what we have here from the big picture standpoint is a bull flag pattern. Again, to reiterate, I fully understand. If you're a scalper, day trader, and you bought right there, you don't care about this bull flag pattern. But that's why I'm trying to distinguish between more so a bigger picture standpoint for somebody that is caring about more so, a very narrow time frame. So from that angle, in terms of supports, from what I talked about in previous videos, on the good news front, the price is not only still above that green line there at 65 cents, has not even tested it. And then in terms of areas of resistance, I think a logical one to get in there, oops, there we go, is that resistance trend line right there. So keep an eye on that. So again, big picture wise, the chart is perfectly fine. Next one, PLTR, did this one in yesterday's video, and the uptrend grind continues. So a little house cleaning, going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. And then first key update, just based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see the MACD as support. So the newest ideal level, when you say, Clay, what would make this chart look the absolute strongest and healthiest moving forward? That would be if the price can stay up there above the $25.10 mark. Now, if the price falls below it, doesn't mean the entire chart's destroyed, because from the overarching standpoint, just watch a purple line there, 50 period moving average. Keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is just going to move itself higher and higher, which is essentially serving as an overall trend line. So as long as the price stays above the overall trend line, then by definition, the price itself is in an overall uptrend. In terms of areas of resistance, just a question of where did the party finally stop today, and that's right up there at the $26 mark, so keep a close eye on that. But all things considered, another very, very solid day here for PLTR. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use to sign up. Or if you're watching at my website, there's an area on the webpage there that you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one, NLSP, and another one of these which is not quite as ugly as the earlier one, but yeah, no doubt about it. Started strong, made a couple movements up to here, and then a very nasty pullback. But at this point in time, there has at least started to be some strength in the upwards direction. Now, yes, there's a lot more work that needs to be done, but it at least makes way more sense now to at least ask the question, hey, has this thing bottomed out, and is this the start of a much bigger bounce? To be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing rolls right back over. Again, as I've said, that's why risk management matters. But two-sided coin, because, well, I mean, maybe this is the start of a bigger bounce to the upside, and this thing gets rocking and rolling back to the upside. So it's really as straightforward as that. Penny stock with a nasty pullback, but it's leveled out. It's starting to work its way back upwards. So is this the start of a bigger move back to the upside? If you like these circumstances, like these sorts of setups, and then certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and first update comes about when, just based on the rule that when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance, and you can see this actually played out perfectly today. You could throw this into a textbook. So opening 30 minutes, price broke down below that former area of support, and then you can see this afternoon bounce back up, and wouldn't you know it, rejected right at that former area of support. So moving forward, 185.30 going to be the main battleground to watch in the very near term. From the overarching standpoint, yeah, you have that level up there at 191, but one hurdle at a time. First, got to see if the price can break up through that level right there. On the bright side of things, in terms of areas of support, absolutely beautiful action right there. Came right down to that purple line, bounced very nicely off of it. So moving forward, that purple line remains the key area of support. Current value of that right now at 183.20. And then from an overarching standpoint, everything is still, fine. The price is maintaining. A much more important area of resistance, of support would be that 200 period moving average. As the price has done a good job of holding strong above there. But it's also kind of irrelevant given the price is way up there. But if something were to crazy happen and the price were to come down there, then 178 definitely a very, very important level of support. Next one, ASNS, and wow, what a last 30 minutes. And that's why I like to do these when the market's still open, because check it out. Not that long ago, the price was up here, and now as I speak, this thing is pushing down to low. So a pretty quick turnaround. We'll see if the price can work its way back upwards, but that's going to give us a little bit different shape to the chart here. But nonetheless, got to think a lot of people have connected those two dots right here, both there and there, gotten that trend line. And I say that because when a lot of people are watching the same trend lines and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So no guarantees, but more than valid to think that the price were to come up here and get the break up through there, that break in and of itself could very well create additional upside buying pressure. So keep an eye on that. In terms of areas of support, let me change this to green for support. You can see right there, consolidated out pretty nicely right down there around the $1.85 mark. And then just for pattern's sake, if you like to play more so patterns, let me keep it one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support, we have the big explosion right there. Make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down there for you golfers, and this would be a bull pennant pattern. So if you like bull pennants, you like stocks down below $5, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, GME, and overall the chart's trying to hang in there, but looking shaky, but nothing drastic has happened from a technical standpoint. Probably the worst part about today was, yeah, it gapped down and then it went on this very nice upwards move only to roll back over, and it's basically right back in this general area of the chart, which, to be fair, so far so good. It is holding strong, and so much so that I'm actually going to adjust this area of support right up to that area, because this general area here at the $24 mark seems to be more so that key level. And if 24 cannot be held, then I can very well see the price headed down to 22ish and maybe even below, especially if it's a high volume breakdown of that level. But so far so good. The price is holding above that area. If there is any sort of bounce, and in fact, I'm just going to get rid of these lines up here as they serve their purpose for now, because really in the nearer term, the key level to watch is going to be this downtrending line right there, followed by, if the price can push up through there, these couple moving averages right there, the 50 period and 200 period moving average. But yeah, it's hanging in there, but things are definitely looking kind of shaky here. Next one, TQQQ, and this one finally decided to act human here a little bit with a bit of a pullback, but the chart overall still perfectly healthy. And in, from a pattern standpoint, basically what you have here, and I'll draw this very crudely, but you have yourself a nice little bull pennant pattern. Get the golf hole down there. So yes, if you bought right here as a day trader and you wanted to buy and sell within 10 minutes, yeah, from that angle, a little bit rough because it pulled back. But even from that angle, it's still only a little rough. It's not like the thing completely collapsed or anything like that. So from any angle you look at it, just a consolidation day, and unfortunately nothing can go straight up. So consolidations, as long as they're healthy, are perfectly fine, and this one is certainly more than perfectly healthy. So from a resistance standpoint, nothing new here, still all about that 77.65 mark. In terms of areas of support, I mean, sure, you could say that you'd want to see the price stay above there, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But from the overarching standpoint, this most straightforward way to continue to gauge this one is just to watch that purple line, 50 period moving average. So as that line continues to move itself higher and higher, as long as the price stays above it, the overall chart fully in the bull's favor. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders out there, like I said earlier, if you like what you saw and you want to learn more about the tool, how it can and should be used, then definitely go get signed up for the free live class. It'll be in a couple of days, Thursday, June 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. Now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now looking at the 4-hour time frame, so each one of these represents 4 hours and not 30 minutes. And yes, as I speak right now, things are looking pretty shaky here for Bitcoin, and given that it's open 24/7, I'm going to have to just kind of assume you're watching this a few hours after I upload it. So let's just say you're watching this video, 15, 20 hours from now. Question number one you need to ask yourself is, where is the price at relative to 63,500? Any sort of answer to that question, that the price is down below it, that is just telling you that the current breakdown that we're watching has not only built more strength to get down there, but even enough strength to push down through there. So that would be a bearish situation for sure. How bearish of a situation? Well, don't overthink it. How far down below is the price of 63,500? The further down below it is, whenever you're watching this, the more bearish the situation. But that's what I'm very curious about is, yes, the breakdown has happened. How bad is it going to get? Anything down below 63,500 is bad. And then how bad? Well, how far down below is it? Now, if you're saying, well, actually, Clay, the price is still above 63,500. Okay, well, where's the price at relative to 65,000 right here, which is now going to be considered an area of resistance? If you're answering the question, well, actually, Clay, the price is up above 65,000, that's a very good sign, because that implies that not only has the price stopped going down and leveled out, and not only has it come up a little bit, it's actually come up enough to get above that level of resistance, which is a good step in the right direction. So that's really the main dynamic right now. These are the two key levels. Where is the price at relative to 63,500? And then also, where is the price at relative to 65,000? If you're answering the question that the price is in between these two, well, then at that point, that's going to be some sort of consolidation, which is a pretty neutral stage at that point in time. But yeah, walk yourself through those questions, and that will keep this relevant for as long as possible. And as I invited the stock traders, I'm inviting you as a Bitcoin trader and crypto trader, go get signed up for the class, because what you're learning about can and definitely should be used within the world of Bitcoin and crypto too. So like I said, it'll be a couple days, Thursday, June 20th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. I hope to see you there. As far as the top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, do a couple things for me. Hit that like button. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching tomorrow. And be sure, if you have a request for me to do and maybe another one, leave that as a request, and I'll do my best to do that in a future video. So go get signed up for that free training. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.